Draft Chaff. Coming up this week.
You gotta let your inner Timmy out, Ben. You gotta take all the 7 drops.
Yeah. Okay.
What's better than drawing 3 cards, Ben? Drawing 6 cards. I met Ben and Zach actually at an AFR sealed event, and I beat both of them, which is great.
What's up, aficionados? Welcome back to Draft Chaff. This is episode 205. We're so back. This is Ben coming at you live from South Jersey, and on the line I have
Tyler, or if you're in the Discord, you might know me as Pessimistic Corn. Great to be here. A little weird to be on this side of the mic, but it's exciting all around.
Yeah, we have a new co-host in town. Tyler has graciously stepped in. Some pretty big shoes, but I think he's got it down.
Very big shoes to fill.
Nah, you got this. Honestly, Draft Chaff has always been about talking about Magic with friends, and that is where we're back to. Anyway, we've got a live draft today. It's been a bit of a hiatus. I took some time off. Honestly, really needed it to wrap out the school year and to run my local school Magic club for a bit. But now, those kids couldn't handle MH3 if they wanted to. It's going to take an expert's approach, so good thing we've got 2 on here now.
Experts, it's a big word. Don't look at my 17 lands data.
All right, we won't look too closely yet, but I bet we could get a trophy after this MH3 live draft today. Anyway, some housekeeping stuff. Hop in the Discord if you're not there already. You can hang out with both of us, talk all things Magic, all things MH3. Just come say hi, or just discuss other nonsense. There's always stuff happening in Magic, right? Especially with the Pro Tour coming up this weekend. That'll be pretty cool to discuss. You can also check out all of our links. Go follow us on Twitter, the usual. Also, massive thanks to all of our patrons. Patreon people, y'all are the best. You have kept us alive this long, and we are infinitely grateful. Hop over there to check out cool perks like stickers, our show notes, and to support the bounty boards, which will be coming back. We took off for MH3, but those will be returning with Bloomborough. We've got some pretty good achievements in mind already. We're going to skip over the crack a draft type thing today in favor of our live draft. So why don't we just pull it right up? We're going to do a quick draft so we have time to actually talk through our thoughts on MH3. We got a lot to say. We haven't had a podcast episode since the set dropped, but it is a doozy of a set. We thought we'd forge Tyler in the fires here.
I was going to say, no pressure here.
Ooh,
I mean, it's a great set. I have yet to do a quick draft with this set, so I'm curious how the bots are going to take from this.
Good point.
I've noticed the meta kind of shift a lot lately. I've had a lot of great success with red-black artifacts, so I can't even load quick draft on here right now. I can't talk and operate at the same time. There we go.
There you go. Yeah, I haven't done a quick draft yet either. I'm interested if the bots take, the chrysalis in the room, if they take the writhing chrysalis as high as it deserves to be. Oh wow, we have the draft already.
We have a multi-format all-star here, Nadu.
Yeah, Nadu not quite as good in limited as it is in modern right now, but there are some pretty sick combos. The big one with Nadu is, what is it called, Nesting Grounds?
Oh yes, removing the counters. Yeah, that does target. So.
Targets 2 your things, draw 2 cards for 2 mana, I guess. What else have we got in this pack?
We have an Urza's Incubator. Again, not great in limited. I have had some success with it in some of the larger Eldrazi decks, but it's kind of an enter 3, do nothing card. Better for the long game. Let's see. We have an Arcbound Condor. Again, it's good in the artifact deck. A little big, a little slow for what I like to play.
It's one of the artifact payoffs, but I like the other ones. I like the big dragon more, and the 1 mana flyer, the Terramander.
Yeah, the couple times that I handled the artifact deck, I like to play it like an aggro deck. A majority 2 and 1 drops. Like, you really don't want to play this on turn 4, in my opinion. Next, we have Glasswing Grace. I haven't had too much luck with the white-black. I don't know if you had a chance to play the modified decks to this point.
Yeah, no. Honestly, black-white has not really ever come together for me. I think I maybe tried it once. Glasswing Grace, though, I would put in basically any black or white deck. It's really strong.
Any of these flip lands, yeah, it's like you really don't lose out playing them, if you can splash or even fit it in. Vexing Bauble. Again, we're getting a lot of great cards, not for limited, but for, for any other format.
Dude, I'm so mad this card exists. It
As a
hates
scam player,
Yeah,
I don't feel bad for you.
Great. Now the scam player is going to complain to us.
Yeah, I've played this a couple times in the artifact deck. I know I keep talking about this artifact deck. You really don't want to play it. It works for your affinity cards. It draws you a card late game. I've never had that first ability procs, so
Yeah, I'm not sure if there's even a way to get it to proc.
no, nothing comes to mind. But whatever. It's a cheap artifact. Next, we got utter insignificance. This is like the hardest word for me to pronounce. I don't know what it is about this card.
Insignificance?
There we go. Okay, I'm sorry. I like this card. I feel like it's decent removal in the Eldrazi decks. Shuts most things down. You can exile it later on. What else do we have in this pack?
I like the crawl. What is that thing called? A void crawl?
Oh yeah, Stamping Void Crawl. A crawl. This
Yeah.
thing, yeah, great in the Eldrazi decks. Ramps you for 2, draws you late game.
Like getting the ramp to 6 mana on turn 4. Like, that's really good.
It's really good. Really, and especially if like a good turn 1 or 2 play, you can easily get one of the 7 drops Eldrazi by turn 4 with this card. So
yeah,
great pick.
I know you want to talk about the familiar.
I know. I love the artifact deck, and this card is amazing in the artifact deck. You can usually play it for 1 mana. It's a 2/1 flyer that discards your opponent's hand. It discards 1 card in your opponent's hand. It just does so much. I love this card, but that might just be my personal preference. Again, don't look at my 17 lands data.
No. I like it too. I've drafted the artifact deck more than I would expect to, and this is definitely a key component, but not something I'd want to start with. Honestly, I think we just slammed the Nadu, and it's funny. It's not like blue-green is mostly an Eldrazi deck in this format, but there are plenty of cards in blue and green that target your stuff. There's some pump spells. There's the fight spell. But you can honestly just slam Nadu in a blue-green deck, and let's see if we can wield a Void Crawl or the Utter Insignificance, because both of those would be a good sign that it's open.
Exactly, yeah. And worst comes to worst, it's a 3-mana 3/4 flyer that if your opponent tries to kill it, either draws you a card or puts a land on the field. So
yeah,
winning all around, in my opinion.
Let's see. Ooh, we got some.
All right,
we got some stuff here. Now this is like, honestly, my least favorite kind of pack to see. One where there's nothing that immediately jumps out after taking a pretty narrow, good first pick. And that's a knock I do have against this format, that the vectors are very narrow.
Yeah, you either in it or you're not in it. Like the energy, when we did the sealed event, you can't do energy in sealed. You really have to build around it. You're forced to kind of play these vectors. Some cards that here jump out for us if we want to stick with Nadu. I'm seeing Utter Insignificance again. I can't do it.
No, that was it.
Decent removal spell. I've also had some great success with Colossal Dread Mask. Dreadmaw on a stick, and it'll set off Nadu as well with the targeting.
Yeah, it's true. Equipment.
Exactly. Yeah. I mean, if we were in Red Fanged Flames, it'd be a great card too. 4 mana or 4 damage. 2 mana, 4 damage.
I like just taking the best card out of this pack, and I honestly think it's between the Flames and the Prism. The Static Prism has been really impressive.
See, I do like Static Prism. I agree. 1 mana removal, but again, it's that energy vector. I guess it shuts it down for 2 turns at least.
I think it's worth building towards. And I mean, there's also like the Wormcoil Larva in this pack. Also, Essence Reliquary. I've seen some people do really cool stuff with it, but I just haven't really gotten the chance to do it myself yet.
Yeah, I didn't realize this targets land, so you're essentially giving yourself an extra mana per turn, too, if you can tap 3, replay a land.
It bounces all sorts of stuff. It actually is a great combo with Static Prism.
Oh, that's true. Very good point. Yes. All right, let's take the Prism then for this and see if we can get some energy vector cards going forward. All right, what do we got?
Ooh, some good blue cards in this pack. Consigned to Memory. I found actually you can main deck this because you just play against Eldrazi so often that it ends up being a pretty good counterspell.
Yes.
But really, the Depth Defiler is really good.
Really good card. I agree. Again, you're going to have to play that colorless if you want the kicker, but usually that's no problem in this format. There's so many ways to produce that.
Are we seeing anything being cut yet? Not a lot of red cards in this pack, right?
Not a lot. That's true, yeah.
Yeah.
Just looks like red right now. And
I have found...
That makes sense for me if the bots are taking the Chrysalis. I have a feeling they're heavily, and even green seems a little lackluster in this. I'm only seeing the brood scale in this pack, so it would make sense because that was the format all-star Chrysalis at common.
Yeah, that's true. I would like to take a blue card here, I think. I think the Copy Crook's honestly pretty good too. I think the Depth Defiler gives us the best chance of maximizing our current picks, but given Static Prison, I also wouldn't mind just taking like the Etched Slith here or something.
Yeah.
Or the Hex Gold Slith, rather. I think the Depth Defiler is just a better card, though.
I agree. It gives us options too. Like any card with multiple options is always going to be a great pick.
Mm-hmm. We can apologize to the refurbished familiar that we're passing.
All right, what do we got here? 2 Sneaky Snackers. I've actually had some really good fun with this card.
Yeah.
It combos pretty well with, I can't remember the name off the top of my head. It's the 2-mana sacrifice draw 2.
Oh, yeah. It just brings it back.
It brings it right back. You're just drawing 3 and you're getting it back. If you swing in, sack it, draw 2. It's great. Again, it's kind of a build around. Shrieking Drake. Don't know why this is in this format, in my opinion. I don't know. I don't know where this works.
I haven't seen anyone go off with it.
I haven't seen anybody play it. Slinket is super. Again, it flips. I think this is always a pretty safe pick.
Mm-hmm. Then again, there is a Void Crawl, a Demon Fear, and a Dryad here, Nightshade Dryad, all 3 of which would be great in a blue-green Eldrazi deck.
You're right. That is true. Yeah, Void Crawl just does so much. Early game ramp, late game draw. You really can't go wrong with that.
It puts you right in the Depth Defiler.
It does. That is very true. Dryad's great too. It's, again, early ramp, late game blocker. Mm-hmm. Great card. My heart tells me Void Crawl. Let's
follow your heart.
All right, let's follow my heart. Let's see where my heart takes us.
Yeah.
All right. Hope Ender, Codal. I like this card. Fits the Eldrazi theme. Gift of Viper as well, I think, is a great card. It does so much for 1 mana.
Mm-hmm. You don't want to slam the Kali of the Vast here?
Oh, of course. Yeah, it's an easy splash.
Yeah. And then just a 4-mana 2/2 flyer that once it gets in, you can put a demon into play.
Because there's so many demons in this set.
Yeah. There's that one, Shogungar, which also cares about angels.
That is true, but we're so far from that.
Yeah. Maybe we'll open a couple other rares. Actually, I'm kind of looking at this Malevolent Rumble here. I feel like that card's pretty important for the blue-green Eldrazi decks too.
That's true. Yeah, it is a good 2-drop. It puts you in a little spawn, which is great too.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah, I think you're right on that. I think we're definitely heading that direction.
I like the Hope Interquaddle too, but I do feel as though it makes you tap out, or rather, it makes you not tap out, and sometimes you'd rather just play a Nadu or a Void Crawl.
Exactly. Feels mana inefficient.
Well, here's a gift. There's a riddle guy. What's that thing called?
Riddle Keeper. I'm like, dude, I don't remember any of the names of any of these cards. I just pick the cards. I don't read them.
There's too many text on it. There's so many words on these cards as is. The name is like the thing you got to pay attention to the least to understand what's happening in this format. But Riddle Keeper is a messed up Magic card.
Oh, it is. 2 stun counters. Ugh. And Emerge too. It just does so much. Eldrazi, 5/5 flyer. Yeah, the Devoid stuff kind of makes this worse in my head. I've been picking this, trying to shut down some of the more signpost vector cards, but it really doesn't hit a lot of them. All right, I think you're right. The Riddle Keeper, I think, is the way to go with this. Just does so much for us here, and we can ramp into it.
If we could try to get one of those Serum Visionaries too, or a couple of them,
that's true.
I find that works really well. Oh, or hold on. This might be a little ridiculous, but Reefworm, I've been wanting to make this card work for the entire format. I had not found a way. I had an opponent who popped off with Reefworm. They had Chthonian Nightmare, Energy Generation, and Reefworm. And they just started looping that, and they had like a Sneaky Snacker and the 2-mana Edict guy, the one that like sacks, makes both players sack an
ETB. Yeah.
And they just started like churning through this Reefworm, and before I knew it, they had a 9/9 in play.
Yeah. It's pretty good value.
Yeah.
I don't know if Reefworm's where we want to be with this pack. Shapeshifter gives us options, which is nice. We also have to think about our lands too, because we do need a lot of colorless.
Oh, there's a Foreboding Landscape.
Foreboding Landscape. Yeah, that's what I'm thinking too. I think it's the safe pick here.
All
I
right.
don't.
If
I want
you're
my.
saying,
I want my first quick draft to be successful.
all right, so you don't want to emerge a Twisted Riddle Keeper off of a reform, I guess. That
Oh
doesn't
man,
sound
I
sick
didn't
to you.
think about that. All right, start with that next time.
Yeah. This pack looks like a dud.
Yeah, there's really nothing we want here.
Maybe landscape, just in case we.
Need the
I don't
colorless.
know. Like, all right. So the Infernal Captor, I've actually seen played to good effect against Eldrazi decks.
Mm,
Sometimes if you can, let's say you think you've stabilized by casting, what is it, the Annoyed Altasaur or something, like
yeah.
just a big beefy guy, but then all your other stuff is like O1s because they've been like putting pressure on.
Yep.
If they Infernal Captor and just steal your Altasaur and you look at your life total, sometimes you're just dead. I found that happens more often than you'd expect. So I've been taking the Captor for like red-white decks,
It feels
especially
good.
invested
Yeah.
3 to side in. But here, I mean, we definitely don't want 2 of them.
No, we're a little too far from that. You know, it would be really great with a brief with Reefworm too if we would have took that.
Oh, that's kind of cool.
But oops. All right, we'll take one for now. We'll see where the deck goes.
Yeah.
I agree, it's a good card. Some flexibility.
Yeah, it probably does belong in the sideboard though. All right, so this is our wheel pack, right? Did we get anything back?
Nothing that we wanted. I mean, there's a lot of land still, which is kind of shocking. I guess bots aren't really highly prioritizing those.
Yeah, they didn't take any of them. I guess they took the Void Crawl, right?
Yeah, they did. That was
That's
pack
what
one,
we
pick
hope
one.
it will.
Okay, so some
But
of
I
these
agree.
colors.
Easy landscape here, right?
Yeah, easy. Oh man, it's not looking too hot for us right now.
I think we have like 6 cards. Right, we've got the Rumble, the Nadu, the Void Crawl, the Defiler, the Riddle Keeper, the 2 lands that are definitely making our main deck.
Yeah,
I think we are moving into like the blue-green ramp Eldrazi vector here.
I agree.
That being said, I say grab that Reliquary and put it right next to that Static Prison in the sideboard because there's a chance we could wind up like a Bant Flicker value deck.
Ooh, okay. I mean, is Consign to Memory good? Have you had success with the Consign to Memory? I haven't drafted it, so I don't know how well it works.
I find that it is worth playing. It's like cuttable, but if we're scraping for playables, we won't be sad to have one.
There's so much devoid in this set too. You know, it really does hit a lot. So I think it is safe. I haven't played it, but maybe I should.
I mean, it's 2 mana to counter both a big Eldrazi and its triggered ability. Like
so
that can
that's
be
true.
That's pretty big,
massive. Okay, I mean, I don't know. What are we taking here? Siege Smash is okay.
I don't think our pick from this pack is going to
really matter. Yeah. I'm just going to take the Drake.
Yeah. It doesn't matter here.
It doesn't matter here.
Chartable Levy.
Yeah, let's get that. Hey, Noel came back too. All
okay,
right.
yeah. Side that in your best of 1 games.
Hey, look we could have took Collier.
Oh. We had the
Shildar, yeah.
So we got this guy. We got a Wrath of the Skies, which is a really strong card, but we're pretty far from playing it. My eyes go right to this Annoyed Altasaur here.
Oh yeah, that's true. This is a 3-rare pack too. You know, I don't want to divulge too much, but these play boosters, man, the amount of power they bring to limited formats is insane.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, that Pyretic Rebirth there reminds me. Had we gone into like an artifacts thing, I think it's a really fun combo with some of the affinity cards, especially the Knighted Frogmere.
Okay.
Whatever the thing is called. Because it's a 7 mana card. Oh, you can prototype for 4. Let it die. I mean, you end up playing it as a 3 mana 2/2, but when you Pyretic Rebirth it back, it deals 7 to some creature they have. So
pretty good value.
Yeah.
I think Altasaur here though, safest pick. You know, it's a 2-for-1. So
yeah, it's a shame about that Psychic Frog though.
I do really like cool. Psychic Frog, but yeah,
pretty far from that or the Shogungar.
Alistair's safe pick here. All right, Brood Scale. I like Brood. Oh, here we go. Actually, I like Idol of the False Gods.
Really, I haven't had to play it
yet. Especially, I mean, we're kind of far from the making a ton of spawn tokens. But if you're in that vector, like if we can kind of lean more towards that, you're getting, you know, a big 8/8 with Annihilator too. You know, this also makes the spawns for us. It's a little slow, I guess.
I've seen it turn on. Like, I definitely believe that it can happen. I would probably go with the Brood Scale over it, just because I'm afraid of energy decks.
Yeah.
You just got to hit the board early.
Yep.
Yeah, that spawn gang commander there is interesting too, but we're not looking like we could support a double red card here.
This pack, though, yeah, we got a couple of really good options here. Um, Wumpus is actually really good. I love this card. I mean, a
Yeah,
6/6 turn 4. We could probably get this out earlier too. But then Horrific Assault. Like, we haven't drafted really any removal yet.
yeah, combos at Nadu.
Yeah. Oh, I didn't even think about that. It does. Yeah. So
I
I
think we have to take the assault.
I think we have to take the assault too. We got to get some removal in this deck.
I do like Warden Power Stone too in these sorts of decks. Blue green, I think, is maybe the best home.
Yeah.
Funnily, I find it good in the red black artifact deck too. It sort of like buys you out if you have like the big affinity cards. If you have like a dragon or an Imskir Iron Eater stuck in hand, and then you play Warden Power Stone, you can basically always cast your big affinity payoff the next turn.
Yeah. Yeah. All right. We're gonna take the Horrific Assault here. All right. I'm seeing we got a Corrupted Shapeshifter. Looking pretty cut from this pack, and the fact that the Cranial Ram is still here tells me that this is pretty open.
Yeah, that's a bit of a shame. Here, I mean, also the mandibular kite card's really good too.
I don't know. Yeah, Kite is good. I mean, we were talking about splashing white. I think we're still kind of far from that.
Yeah,
I mean, we could take one of these landscapes that also fetches planes if we want to try to sneak that in going forward.
I actually would lean towards that. I just don't think. I mean, the only card we'd want out of this pack is maybe the Shapeshifter or the Boggart guy, the flip guy, because that's. I mean, dual lands are the DFCs are always safe.
Yeah,
yeah. The
I mean, graveyard hate in this isn't too great, so
yeah, I haven't found it relevant.
So you're thinking you want to lean towards the Kite, or you want to lean towards the landscape splash white going forward?
I think I'd go for the Perilous. That's the Jeskai landscape. Yeah. I feel like we might end up needing to move into white somehow just to supplement our. I mean, we have good cards, and it was clearly more open from the other direction.
Yeah.
I think we'd take the landscape. Plus, we just need more devoid, colorless cards anyway for a couple of things: the Riddle Keeper, the Defiler, even the Void Crawl for its activated ability.
All right, we'll take the landscape. I've noticed this set too. I've drafted the green blue vector a couple times, and I prioritize taking the lands I've noticed, but then I run out of meat for the deck going forward.
Like you gotta have meat.
You gotta have meat. I'm so used to thinking of just 23 when I'm drafting that I'm not thinking of the lands I put in.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Speaking of getting a big meaty deck together, we found our payoff.
Kozilek's Unsealing. I do love this card.
I love this card. I mean, just
it does so much for us.
Getting their Ancestral off of this is so nice. And we have right now we don't have that many cards that trigger the smaller mode. Right now it's only the Depth Defiler actually, but we do have 2 cards that trigger the big mode, the Twisted Riddle Keeper and the Annoyed Altasaur, both of which getting to draw 3 after. It's pretty hard to die after casting either of them. So I say we just slam that.
Oh, I agree. It feels so good. Like if you play a big, 8-drop creature and draw 3 cards, you can't go wrong.
Yeah, like
slam pick that.
What's your opponent? I mean, when my opponent gets to do that, I'm usually thinking like, well,
there goes the game.
There goes the game. Yeah.
All right. I mean, we have another Rumble here. Again, great card.
Rumble
Dig
seems like a safe pick.
Yeah. Collective Resistance. I mean, Hexproof and Indestructible is nice. It's nice to have modes, to escalate. There's not. Mm-hmm. I mean, there's some artifacts. I mean, I'm going to keep talking about the red-black artifact thing.
We know.
Yeah. So, yeah, I think Rumble's the safe bet here. It gives us a spawn, gets us a card 4 deep. So we'll take that. All right. Deep Analysis. Who doesn't like drawing cards?
Yeah. Deep Analysis seems like... I mean, nothing in this pack is really where we're going to be. I think Deep Analysis is fine for blue-green, but we'd almost rather have the Unfathomable Truths that makes a spawn. But actually, we don't have many payoffs for, like, colorless stuff, like the Glaring Flesh Raker. That thing cares about casting colorless spells. We don't have that guy yet, so Deep Analysis just seems good here.
Yeah, we got... Visionary's pretty good. And a Brute Skill this late is pretty nice to see.
Maybe we're not getting cut. Maybe they just... good cards weren't really open for a vector.
Yeah, I like Brute Scale here. I mean, Visionary is also great. Draw a card, set up your next 2 turns. Mm-hmm. I like the idea of the Brute Scale. I feel like we don't have a lot of early drops. I think we need to start grabbing some of those.
What
are you leaning towards?
Scale.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, Brute Scale over Visionary. I think it's really close, but and we definitely do want a Visionary in this deck, but it's like just a little bit over for the Brute Scale.
You got to get set up early in this format too. It's kind of quick, and you can get run down pretty fast. I mean,
Ooh, wow.
for pick 9, these are all cards in our colors. Even the landscape, the foreboding landscape that taps for black, green, blue. You know, that's probably the best one for us. I like Sink into Stupor. You know, at worst case, it's a land.
Yeah, I agree. I'd probably go with the landscape here.
Okay. Oh, landscape, you're saying?
Sink into Stupor. Hold on. What's this
card? I like Sink into Stupor. I mean, return target spell or non-land permanent to a hand. It slows him down. I mean, worst comes to worst, it's a land.
No, that's true. That's true. I think you're right.
This is like an $8 card, I believe, right now. It's being played. Yeah, I mean, don't quote me on that, but it's up there for an uncommon.
Yeah, interesting. I have gotten blown out by this card. Actually, while blocking an Annoyed Altasaur.
Oh, there you go.
Thinking like, oh, I'm going to soak up all this damage and not die this turn, and then I took 6 from Trample. So, yeah, I take it back. I think Sink is definitely the call.
I think it's a safe bet, and we don't need a ton of colorless right now with the deck we have. You know, none of the spells we have require colorless. You know, some of these emerge costs and the kicker cost, yes, but I think we're covered so far.
Definitely still looking for more 4, 5, and 6 drop creatures. Yeah. To help trigger the unsealing, but actually this pack seems like a whiff. I don't like Hunger Tide Rises.
I don't like it. I'm going to take the Bauble just because it's your favorite card in Modern now.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, another whiff here too. In Arena too, if you hit Alt, you can check your card history too. I don't know if people know this. I grab things I don't have to build the vault history. Yeah, if you hit Alt, it shows you if you have a completed collection for these cards.
Oh my god!
Towards pack 10, like pick 10 in the pack, I'm like checking, like, did I draft enough of these?
I had no idea.
There you go. All right, I'm teaching you now. Get that vault progress.
I'm all about that good gem EV, but I had no idea.
All right, Shapeshifter. I mean, it's a solid card. You know, gives us options. I think Felstrike's actually not awful. You know,
look at that art.
It's amazing. 2 counters on something. I mean, it's not the deck we want to play it in, but there's enough flyers in this format that it does work. Oh, what do we got here? Prismatic Ending. Not where we want to be. Genku's okay for this. We're talking about going Bant, but I don't really think we want to flex into that.
It works with the landscapes, and it does work with the Essence Reliquary, but you know, like, what are we blinking late game? I don't know if that's where we want to go. And Prismatic Ending is kind of cool, but not on the splash. Like,
a lot of the Eldrazi are all on cast trigger too. Yeah, so blinking really doesn't pay off for them. I mean, I see a Horrific Assault in here. Does it feel bad to pick a common? Pack 1, pick 3 to pick 1, but I think it's a great card. We also have the Drown Lurker.
Another thing to trigger our Kozilek's Unsealing, but I think we do just need the interaction. And again, we've got a Nadu. Like, we want stuff that targets.
It's true. All right, we're going to grab the Assault here. That's what I like about this format, too. The commons feel good. Like, you never feel bad picking a common. All right, what do we got in this? I see another Brute Scale.
You shouldn't have said that out loud.
I know. I ruined it.
I never feel bad taking a pick 3 Kozilek. Pick 3 Kozilek.
Please. I mean, we might be picking a common here again too. Brute Scale's pretty solid.
Yeah, I like the Brute Scale here. I mean, there's the Worm. There's honestly, Priest of Titania is kind of funny. It's just a 2-mana dork, but the Brute Scale sort of does that while also playing towards the spawn vector, giving us colorless stuff. And a big part of blue-green surviving in the late game is just chumping with spawn tokens.
Exactly. Yes, we're gonna take the Brute Scale here. Up to 3 Brute Scales.
Yeah, that's good. I like her early. Okay.
All right.
Okay.
We're back to Ixalan over here.
Yeah.
I do like it. I mean, a 7-drop, that's going to trigger our unsealing again.
And maybe we could reel the second one. 2 Annoyed Altasaurs. I mean, let's get annoyed here.
That's great. I do like, you know, the Repurposer as well. It's a solid 3-drop, but I think we want Big Dumb Dinosaur, right? I think that's the way to go.
We absolutely do. Just another thing to draw 3 off of our Cozy's Unsealing. And again, Repurposer is great, but I would take like any of the 4 or 5 mana ones over it at this point, just because it works better with our Unsealing.
Yeah, true. Okay, we're gonna grab the Dinosaur. All right. I mean, we have some 7-drops. We have another Defiler, which feels pretty good.
That looks great right here.
It does.
We do have into the late game.
It does, and again, it triggers the small end of our Unsealing. I do like Drowned Lurker too, but Delver just gives us more options. We're going to grab the Delver.
Yeah, I think we're probably good on 7-drops. We might play another another like 7 like a lurker, but Defiler is definitely it here.
You got to let your inner Timmy out, Ben. You got to take all the 7 drops.
Yeah. Okay.
What's better than drawing 3 cards, Ben? Drawing 6 cards.
All right. Now there are some other potential picks here. There's the Nah, just take it.
No, you have to take it. I mean, yeah, you have to take it, right? I mean,
it's consistency.
It is consistency. Yeah.
I do almost wish there was a like a Thassa's Oracle sort of card in this format, because I have found that you can get pretty low on library size.
Easily mill yourself out. All right, we got Lion Umbra. It's fine. Another Priest. I mean, Utter, again, semi-removal. And it does work with us because we do have the colorless mana producers.
How many kill spells do we actually have right now?
We have 2 Horrific Assaults at this point.
Kind of it.
That's kind of it. So I think we do need some more interaction.
Yeah, the bounce off of Depth Defiler's fine. But yeah.
And we have stun counters. I think we need it, though.
Yeah. Or something like the Dread Mask, which is good, but we have ways to use our mana right now. Ooh,
here we go.
Territory color. This card is so messed up.
And with Nadu, man, this card.
Oh my god,
this card could go, pretty good for us, I think. And it's a 5-drop too, so I think it's the way to go here.
Yeah, slam that thing.
Yeah.
That's a nice gift.
Easy pick. We have a Shapeshifter in this pack too, but color it is. I mean, we have a Lurker. Do we really want another 7-drop? Yes.
Yes.
We could cycle it too. So I mean,
I love the cycling ones.
Yeah. Let's grab it. Worst comes to worst, it's our cut.
Yeah. I'm not really sure what this deck is missing right now. Just maybe like another earlier drop.
Some more interaction, probably. But this,
yeah. Good thing we took those assaults when we did.
I agree. I think that was the right pick, especially since we're getting a lot of these 7 drops passed to us.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna grab the Shapeshifter for sideboard. I think bet over the Lurker.
Oh yeah, we're at 26 right now with 3 lands.
Yeah,
I like all of our. See, this is something that I think a lot of people don't do while they're drafting. We have been building the deck while drafting, and I think that's we could gloss over it pretty easily. But we have been considering our vector both in our picks and for like what our curve is going to look like and how the deck will play. Like thinking we want a Brood Scale on turn 2, we want a Rumble on turn 2, we want an Unsealing on turn 3. And then maybe like activate Brood Scale, play something else cheap, and then next turn we're just doing big stuff forever.
Yep. It's nice to see the layout. Really, and this might be a bad habit of mine. This is how I usually tend to draft, and I'll just slam it. I won't even review what I drafted if I built the deck like this. It's a bad habit, but it works.
Well, I think that's honestly something I see with a lot of the pros too.
Yeah.
Like their deck is built.
Don't compare me to the pros.
Well, I mean, look, you and I have both had a good amount of success playing Magic. I think it is a valid way to do this. I think if you're just taking the best card out of every pack with no consideration for what your curve looks like, for what your deck's plan is, what your deck's vector is trying to do, then like you're probably not going to win that much.
No, not set yourself up for success there.
Yeah.
All right, I'm going to take the Shapeshifter out of this just to have options later on, but I'm going to sideboard it.
Mm-hmm.
I am a little worried. We only did end up drafting 3 of these lands, the landscapes, but we really don't need them. Like, none of the casting costs for the creatures we have requires it.
You don't think of pack 3, pick 10 being interesting, but is Priest of Titania worth mainboarding here?
Oh, that's a good point. Yeah. It is nice to have.
Like, we're playing a bunch of 7-drops and ramp payoffs. Like, do we just want a 2-mana Dork full stop?
What would you cut, though? Like, let's just say this is the deck we end up going. What in here don't we want? Maybe the Deep Analysis? It's nice to draw cards, but it's not really what we're going for here.
Actually, I think that's... I didn't know what to cut, but I think it's good that you said Deep Analysis because we have double cozies on ceiling.
Yeah, and I think I agree with you. We want to get to our 7-drops. Like, that's the game plan here. Mm-hmm. The faster we do that, the better. And if the opponent has an elf out, even better, because that also counts those. So yeah, we'll grab that. Okay, Urza's Cave.
Wait, oh no, never mind. I thought that was the...
This is also actually like a couple dollar card too. It's actually really... It fetches any land, for 3 mana. That's pretty good.
Yeah, I guess so.
Any
Modern
land
is really getting juiced with this. I gotta look at my bulk.
Oh, dude, around in there. Everything's going crazy with the prices. I'm gonna grab this just because it's a colorless tapper. I think that's our safe bet. You agree here? I mean, there's nothing else we're gonna play in this pack. It's pack 3, pick 11.
I do think we'll be able to cut it, given that, like you said earlier, we don't actually have anything that costs explicit colorless. And we
It's
have
really
all
just
these
the kicker,
brood
yeah.
scales. Yeah, I think we'll be fine kicking those. I mean, with our fetches as is now.
Another lurker. I'm just going to grab it sideboard. There's nothing really here that's going to affect the game plan anymore. I mean, Hunger
Yeah.
of the Tide Rises, great card for the sideboard.
Yeah.
And then Lion Umbra.
Nice.
Cool.
Wow, great draft here. This looks like a really good deck.
Yeah, it's going to go a great 0-3 with me behind the wheel. So.
I don't know about that. I mean, just to run through it. Oh, yeah, actually, and this is perfect. I like in these blue-green decks to have 17 lands and then like one DFC if we're doing it with the Sink into Stupor. This is perfect. Going up the curve here, we've got the double Horrific Assault, Consign to Memory. We've got the Utter Insignificance that kind of rounds off our removal package. 3 Basking Brood Scales, the 2 mana that makes a dude. I keep wanting to say Scion or Spawn.
There's Scion, Spawns. There's the Eldrazi. They got too much going on.
The little dorks.
Yeah.
2 Malevolent Rumbles. This Priest of Titania, this last-minute inclusion here. The 3-drop slot, double Cozy's Unsealing. The Snapping Void Crawl. Shame we only got one of those, but I think it's going to be really good in this deck. Anadu, Slink into Stupor as our 1 DFC. 4 drops, we've just got the Corrupted Shapeshifter. I think that's good for this sort of deck. We don't want to be lingering at the 4 mana spot too much. We sort of want to jump right into 5, 6, 7, which this deck does a good job of doing.
Hey, we're going to be ramping out so quick. You're never going to be want to play a 4 CMC on turn 4 in this deck. With the 3 Brood Scales, Titania, even the Rumble, that's going to ramp us out to our 5 and 7 drops pretty quick.
5 drops, we got Double Depth Defiler and Territory Color, some real uncommon all-stars here. And at the 7+, we've got Annoyed Altosaurs, 2 of them, a Drownyard Lurker, and a Twisted Riddle Keeper. And then we've got 3 landscapes, Foreboding, Perilous, and Bountiful. I do like running all of them, even though like Bountiful, for example, Perilous is the Jeskai one. That can only actually fetch blue. I think it's still worth running in this deck just because we do need a couple colorless sources here and there. And it'll be good for like kicking the Defilers. And then 7 islands, 7 forests. This deck looks great. Pretty
solid. Yeah, I'm actually pretty happy with this came out. And again, another thing I really enjoy about this format, we kind of touched on it earlier. We only have 1 rare or mythic in this set, in this deck. This is a pretty solid deck. It's going to work with the commons and uncommons. That's why it feels good to draft in this. I'm pretty happy with this.
Yeah, it's funny. There's a whole lot of rares that are just stone cold unplayable.
Yeah.
And there's a whole lot more rares that are, you need to be doing the most hyper specific, like you need to be playing black, but also making energy, or you need to be like the Chthonian Nightmare, for example, or you need to be playing white, but care about like the graveyard or like artifacts and enchantments for like the big Cycling Angel. There's a lot of really interesting cards in this set that are at higher rarities, and they often just don't work. But when they do, it's really sick. And I think that's a good place for a format to be in. It's sort of like a cube.
That's a good way to put it. And it's, because they really thought about this as a limited format. I think that's why the uncommons and commons work so well. This set was designed for a limited, but also to get all those big juicy rares for modern. Like you open a card that is unplayable at rare, but you take a common. We took Horrific Assault pack 3, pick 1.
Yeah,
it was designed for limited in mind, which is nice.
And does it feel bad when your opponent like turn 3 flages you or something? Like, yeah, because or like maybe the most brutal thing in this format is your opponent is on the play and they go turn 1 either the Ocelot or the Guide of Souls.
Dude, Ocelot is so good turn 1 in this format. It feels so good.
Yeah. And Guide of Souls I have gotten just demolished by.
Yes. If you could build a good energy deck around that, yeah.
I was playing at RCQ 2 weekends ago, maybe. I 0-3'd it. Not my finest work. Been a while since one of those, but my first round opponent was playing blue-green, but splashing for Guide of Souls, and they just kept having it turn 1.
Wow.
It was a tilting way to lose. It was like, man,
it's a good card.
Should not be working, but it's still being good. It's still working.
Best Soul Sister.
All right. So with the whole draft out of the way, we should probably address the co-host in the room.
I was gonna say, are you about to call me an elephant?
No. I would never. Not on your first day here. I'm gonna go easy on you. So who are you?
So I'm Tyler Cobb, Pessimistic Corn in the group in the Discord. been friends with Ben for a little while now. I guess we could talk about the story because it's a good story. I met Ben and Zach actually at an AFR sealed event. And I beat both of them, which is great. That was the first time I met the two of them. They introduced me to the podcast, and been running into Ben and Zach at the store ever since. Joined the Discord, been a listener, been a fan, and here I am now talking on said podcast, which is very strange.
I mean, it goes further than that. We've done some cube retreats.
Yeah, that was the more fun story to do. That's true. We do this thing. It's a new thing we like to call the Cube Cabin.
Yeah.
We had a couple of our good friends, Ratafia in the Discord, Ben obviously as well. I think we drafted 7 or 8 sets in like 48 hours, 72 hours.
It was insane. I was drained, and I can draft nonstop, but this was, yeah.
I had to stop Magic for like a week and a half after that.
Yeah. Well, glad to have you here.
Yes, glad. Thank you.
I think maybe it was like something about the YouTube grind, which I enjoyed it for a bit, but it just wasn't the same as getting to talk about Magic with someone else. That is ultimately what Draft Chaff always has been, and glad to have you here.
Thank you, man. Thank you for having me. I agree. Talking to yourself about Magic, it's a little weird.
Yeah. Now, how long have you been playing Magic?
So I started we're going to go real close. I started in 2012, like loosely, like we'd play freshman year in high school at like the lunch table with unsleeved like Innistrad cards.
Oh yeah. Nice.
I probably really got into Magic around Modern Horizons 2. That was like the first time I actually went to a store and did an event. It was an MH2 draft, and I pulled a borderless what's the card name? Ragavan of all cards. Wow. Yeah, so that was a great way to start. And really since then I've been playing a lot of limited. I'm not really too much of a constructed format player. I've dipped into EDH now. Ben's been trying to get me to go to these RCQs for Pioneer and and all that jazz, but we'll get there one day. Modern is coming up. My wallet doesn't like the sound of that, but hopefully there's enough chaff sitting around this room that I could throw something together.
Yeah.
No scam.
Well, I mean, look, there's some burn stuff happening. There's like a Boros energy deck playing Guide of Souls and Amped Raptor now.
I just sold my 2 flanges.
Flages, yeah.
Flages, dude. I got them. They were like 15 a piece. Now they're going for like 45 a piece. It's crazy what that set's done.
Card's taken off.
Yeah.
Well, you've been present for some pretty big moments. You were there when I pulled that serialized Soul Ring.
Oh, I was very much there. Me and Ben decided to buy 2 collector booster packs of Lord of the Rings. I think I let you pick which pack you wanted first.
You did.
And yeah, that was great. I got a Delighted Halfling.
Which was from my pack.
Which was from your pack. Ben felt pretty bad. No, that was pretty exciting. That was really cool, actually, to witness.
Yeah.
I have a serialized Void Slime, which is kind of close, right?
You could counter my Soul Ring with your Void Slime.
There you go,
right?
yeah.
So, yeah, you've seen some good Draft Chaff history, we'll say. So I just want to make sure the listener knows that you're not just some rando I chose at random from the Discord.
Yeah, Ben met me outside. He just told me to come in and talk about Magic real quick.
Yeah, so now to get to know you as a Magic player, when I know some of your strategies. I know you're a big Boros beatdown.
I am a big Boros player. I love me some aggro.
Common. Do you have a favorite Magic card?
Yeah, and actually it's not Boros. It's actually it's not that weird of a card. Deadly Recluse. It is a 1/2 spider with Death Touch and Reach. Nice and classic. It's got a lot of sentimental value. My wife's a big fan of the spider decks, so it's got a personal connection for me. Doesn't really see play anywhere, though, besides my Shalob EDH deck.
Well, don't you worry, because it is a permanent resident of the Draft Chaff Cube.
Oh, perfect. Even better.
Never be cut.
Immortalized.
Yeah, and the version that I have in my current cube is the exact card that was given to me out of a plastic bag full of bulk green cards that someone found on the side of the road or something.
Oh, geez. Oh, so it's like a true Deadly Recluse.
From which my very first deck was built. It was mono green, 3 Llanowar Elves, and then a bunch of green cards. And the edges are so scuffed. It's maybe my favorite card that I own.
It's a true beauty. That's a trophy at this point. You know?
Yeah. It's always been up there for me. So don't worry, that one will always be immortalized. I love it, Deadly Recluse. Do you have a favorite deck that you've been playing?
Well, see, I'm a big limited player, so it's so hard to, I guess, put that into words.
You have commander decks
I
too.
do have commander, and I've been playing Yoshimaru, which is a 1-drop 1/1 legendary dog that gets a counter anytime you cast a legendary spell, a historic spell, essentially. And Rogak, which is the 0-drop 0/1 legendary like Cobalt or something like that. So you turn 1 Yoshimaru, turn 1 the little guy. You're just swinging in for commander damage, and I'm having a real blast for it.
You must make a lot of friends at the. At
the they love it.
Yeah, when your commander's total mana value is 1.
It's a 1-drop 21/21 usually late game.
Nice. Now, there is some Magic news coming up. I always like to make sure the listeners up to date. PT Amsterdam is right around the corner. By the time this episode comes out, it'll have already happened. Hopefully, Modern was fun. There's some old pros returning. There was a tweet going around today where apparently John Finkel, Johnny Magic himself, asked one of his like testing group, "What is grief? Like what does the card do?"
Uh-oh.
So best of luck to Johnny Magic. I hope he ends up playing it or playing against it, because that's a pretty great story. But I'm excited to see how some of these new decks do. Nadu in particular has been going off. Eldrazi-tron, thanks to some new additions. The energy decks, the Boros or Mardu energy. And have you seen Ruby Red Ral Storm going around?
Yeah, I sold my Ral as soon as that price spiked. Man, that deck looks really crazy.
Yeah, like that's like classic Storm.
Grape Shot. I've seen one Grape Shot in the deck list, and that's
it. Yeah. It's not even so much like the newer Storm decks that would pop up in, say, like Vintage Cube, where your goal is to just draw your entire deck through some shenanigans and then win via like a Thassa's Oracle. This is like you're playing Seething Song and the Rituals, yep. And Past in Flames is like a
any way to get mana and get cards off the top, man. It's pretty funny to watch.
Yeah. I'm excited to see that one in paper. That's a pretty sick. I look forward to seeing a little die with as a storm counter. That'll be pretty cool. And hopefully a scam variant survives all the way until the RCQ season.
Not if Vexing Bauble has anything to say about that.
Yeah, right. Listener question, Luke, we're going to skip it. We were on hiatus, obviously, so I don't blame no one for being like, where'd you guys go? With a new co-host in town, I'm sure you guys have some questions. So ask away in the listener question channel, the Discord. And we probably should hit up Teferi and Tybalt. I mean, you got a Teferi, you got a Tybalt this week? What's up? What's been going on?
It's so weird because I'm so used to listening to you tell me yours. So yeah, I guess Teferi, it's nice to be here. It's nice to talk about Magic. It's great playing Magic, but to be able to express your feelings and opinions about the game is also a really great way to be part of the community.
Then you're in the right place.
I am in the right place. A non-Magic related Teferi mixed in with a Tybalt this is going to sound so stupid. I got a Costco membership for the first time.
Oh.
I was super excited about that, and that's also my Tybalt, because I've gotten to the age where I'm excited about a Costco membership. So, yeah, overall, that was a pretty average week all around. How about you?
Well, I'm on summer break right now. That's definitely a big Teferi. My Tybalt was that the school year I didn't realize just how drained I was. And I had taken on extra responsibilities, doing some clubs, and even taking over an extra class this year from a teacher who left on maternity. And it just so happens that this week I saw there's been some articles going around about how teachers are one of the most underpaid jobs in the country and the world. And that a statistic I saw is that around 44% of teachers leave within their first 5 years.
Wow.
And that's honestly checks out with my experience. I know many teachers that have gone on to just do other things. And honestly, I don't know how many more years I've got in me if it keeps going the way it is. But that's now I've shifted into Tybalt territory. My Teferi is that it's nice to be on summer break, and there's that whole win-a-box thing happening soon. I'm sure the Discord will be popping off with that.
Very excited to lose 5,000 gems.
Yeah, well, I mean, I was doing the numbers. If you win one in your first 4 attempts, you're EV positive by $15.
Yeah, but the big keyword there is winning ones.
Well, I mean, So the last time this happened, it was that weird like chaos.
Oh, the mystery booster boxes, right?
Yeah. I won on my first attempt, and then not in any of my like 4 subsequent attempts. So I probably should have quit while I was ahead and just done that first one. I ended up making it back to the point where I was just like functionally buying a mystery booster box, which is that's okay. Like we got to draft it, that was fun.
It was,
but I would like to win a box of MH3 and have it mailed to my door by Wizards. That sounds like an awesome experience.
Yeah, I plan on doing at least one. We'll see how that goes. But yeah, it's a great program, and I'm glad they're bringing it. Obviously, it's a great way for Wizards to make money. People aren't going to be winning these that often, but it feels good to get something from playing on Arena. MTGO, you can buy out the sets if you complete them. Arena, it feels a little bad because you're kind of just stuck with all these digital cards, but it fees good if you win the box.
Yeah, having that nice full completed set symbol, like the glowing
orange, it's all worth it.
That's the real reward. And I guess my other tibble is that I got a pretty bad sunburn this week. I've been at the beach and I thought I put on enough sunscreen and I forgot that I've been inside for quite a while. And
oops.
Yeah. I'll be fine. That, I think, does it this week for your inaugural episode. What do you think? You survived.
I did survive. It was a lot of fun. Still shaking a little bit. It's a little weird to be this side of the mic, but it was good. So thank you. I appreciate it. And I look forward to seeing what the future brings.
Before you'll know it, it'll feel like just nothing. I'll be like, yeah, I know how to do this. And thank you for listening and jumping back in with us after our hiatus. As a reminder, check out the Discord. Best place to hang out with us. Let us know whether Tyler sucks at this or...
Please, I need feedback. I need validation.
No, but for real, go ahead and show up some love for taking this big step. And patrons, as always, thank you for your support. Those stickers, I mean, they're probably going to be cuter than ever for Bloomborough. So those will be pretty sweet. And follow us on socials. Hit up Twitter. We've been re-ramping that, getting our posting game back. And thanks, and happy drafting. Now, of course, we got to have a quick sign-off because I think right now you're on your way to a Commander night. Yeah.
I am on my way to a Commander night, yeah. A local game store. I started going a couple weeks ago. It actually been a great time. Again, a limited player. This is like the real first time I'm doing Constructed. I'm already putting a CEDH deck together.
Ooh.
Which is, Ancient Tomb, Mana Crypt, man. Those things are not cheap.
Guess you need them though. I mean, I heard someone won the last. It was like a big CEDH tournament. They won on turn 1.
Oh wow, yeah, that's crazy, man. CEDH is insane. It's a whole nother level. But it's been nice to just get to the store and just kind of hang out again. Limited, especially with MH3, it's pricey. It's like $40, $30 for a draft. But these Commander games, you know, it's free. You're just hanging out. So it's nice to just kind of relax and play.
Yeah, it's nice. Now, I do want to address some stereotypes that I've seen. And I have seen this on, like, even like at our local game store, Bearded, where you'll see, like, while the draft is firing, there'll also be the Commander Night firing. And it'll say, like, deck difficulty level. And it'll be, like, all 7s.
Everything's a 7, Ben. That's the one thing you realize when you get there is everything's a 7.
What does a 2 look like? What does a 10 look like?
So from what I've been told, when you get a precon's usually around like a 4 to 5. So if you're playing a 2, your deck is just a bunch. It's just it's a pile. Usually, so a 7 I would say is like an upgraded precon, and that's the comfort level most people enjoy playing at, because the higher you go, it's just people are playing solitaire. You know, it's not there's no fun interaction. You know, at a 7, everybody's having fun. So I think that's why everybody tries to build a 7, and that's why you see a lot of people say a 7. It's also easier to just say 7. You know, like people kind of know.
Yeah. Now, have there been any nonsense happenings in your pods? Any fun plays? Any big wins?
Nothing comes to mind immediately. They're going easy on me. Like, I'll sit out while they do the CDH stuff, and I'll watch for now. We're keeping it low key. Like, I'm doing my Yoshimaru deck, just swinging with Boros. Boros doesn't seem to be the color combo you want to be at in Commander. Kind of swing out and leave yourself open, but that's what I do in Limited, so it should work in Commander, right?